Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Um, it's a beautiful evening the Lord has given us, whatever time it is, from wherever you're watching us. This is Trapeza TV, the table of heavenly content, and tonight I'm privileged to have a wonderful person with us on set. I'd like to introduce Sharon, who will be with us tonight, who will be taking us through this session as well. We'll be doing it in. We'll be doing it with us. So I want to welcome all of you. For those of you watching us on Facebook, or who will be watching us on Facebook, for those of you tuning in on YouTube as well, welcome very much. Tell your friends that you're online, ready to change your lives. And this evening, it's a very wonderful topic that I'd like us to broadly talk on. The topic is understanding your potential, understanding your potential. Before I get to that, let me just make sure that people are getting us loud and clear. Might be talking and no one is getting me, so let us just ensure before we proceed. Okay. All right. As we proceed with the same, our reading today will come from the book of Timothy, and it's 2 Timothy chapter 4 from verse 5 to 7. It's a scripture that I know majority of us are familiar with, and it's a statement Paul makes before, in his scriptural journey. So it's a scripture that Paul writes and is addressing Timothy. So those of you there with us, let's get to our Bibles and get to the scriptures and read. These were our foundational verses. Foundational topic going to come from the book of 2 Timothy. I'll repeat. The 4 from verse 5 to 7 before you get deep into the scripture. And explain and elaborate the whole thing. Book of Timothy. Let me just get the scripture. Proceed. 2 Timothy chapter 4 from verse 5 to 7. Also, there are only four topics. Four chapters in the book of Timothy. Chapter 4 is the final chapter. Chapter 4 from verse 5 to 7. The Bible says, but watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. So Timothy, I've run the race. I've finished the course. I've kept the faith. I've done the work. My word awaits me. I'm ready to die. Keep working after I'm gone. Our foundational topic today is understanding your potential, and this is a very broad topic because as individuals and as beings who've been gifted with the gift of life and all, there's so much that is expected from us. There's so much that is expected from us, from the society, from family, from friends, and even in relationships as well. So today, as we talk about understanding your potential, I'd like us to go to the foundational, basis of the whole thing. What is potential? And we all know that potential is an individual's capability. Your capacity to do something. How good that you are doing something. How good that you are doing whatever you're doing. it may not really matter what it is. Maybe it's your area of work, it's your area of jurisdiction. It's your job. But then potentiality matters. You only produce results. If you have potential, you only meet your goals and set desires if you really understand your potential, the capacity to do something. So understanding your potential for you to really give out to society, for you to really bring out the best in you, for you to really produce results, for you to really do something that sincerely impacts on society, you have to understand your potential as well. Because some of us are gifted with that ability. We have the capability of the capacity, but then you don't understand. You don't understand what you can do. You don't understand to what limits you can stretch yourself to produce results, and that is why most of us end up failing. So I feel for us to for you to do something in life, you have to first understand your potential. And this is a very dynamic topic, and we can debate much about it. We can discuss much about it, because for me, I believe it's our potential that drives us, especially for young people. Now, looking at this from if you look at it from this perspective, the perspective of the young people, we young people are just advancing and growing up, we're just developing, and then we're in some era where there are influences. We have negative influences from all over. Listen to the current era's music. There's some things I deeply look at. Listen to the music. Listen to how times are changing. There's some music you listen to. There's some music you listen that just wants to elicit violence in you. These are discos I've had as well. You listen to some music. You listen to the oldies. I don't know. People call them oldies and old school songs. Some smooth music that can even help you out. But then listen to the current era's music. And you just want to run wild and go violent and do crazy stuff. So do we understand our capabilities? Do you understand our capacity to do some things? Do we understand that these worldly influences can equally impact on us? Negatively. It depends with how we take it in as well. So Timothy, Paul is writing to Timothy, and Paul is telling Timothy that I've run the race, I've finished the course, and he's satisfied with what he's accomplished. I've finished the course, I've kept the faith, I've done the work, my award awaits me. And Paul is ready to die because he feels, he's met his purpose, he's done everything that was expected of him. So currently, are we living in that similar manner? I know we meet challenges, but then that's why I'm here today. And I didn't want to have this discussion alone, so we have a Sharon on board, and I'd love to pass the malt table to her, and like us to hear her take on the same, understanding your potential.
So
What do you think?
it's so important, to know how much you can stretch, your potential. And most of us want to do things, longing to have some kind of life. And we have that person in us, we can do it, but most of the times we try to hold ourselves back. So you've talked about knowing an individual's ability.
Yeah.
But how can I know that I can be able to do this? Actually, when you talk about potential, I have to know my interest. I have to know
Yeah.
what I can uniquely do. I have to know what I love. But at this age, actually, most of us don't know what we don't know what we can really do. We don't know our special abilities. We feel like, if you ask me, like, oh, okay, Sharon, so what can you do? What are you so good at? And I'll tell you, I don't know. I can read, I can do this, but we don't know where our specialty is. So how can someone identify the unique ability that he or she has? Because that is where someone should start from. After
Yeah.
identifying my interest, something that I can really do, from there I can start building whatever I want from what I love. So how can I identify that?
from a personal experience, I'd like to say that there's some impartations that society has on us. There's a way we're expected to, live and operate as human beings. So you live you go to school as individuals, and your teachers, for example, teachers tell you, the only way to, truly achieving, your ultimate desire in life is through books. You have to study and study hard. If you fail, yours is done with. But then what they don't really teach us is how life, outside of school in this context is. Because maybe, my interest is not really, in education or doing physics and doing chemistry. Maybe I have something else that I'm good at, but then it's not brought out. So I feel it's upon us it's upon you as an individual to truly sit down with yourself and realize, okay, what is it that I'm good at? Because once you do that, if you live a life where you're not even sure what you can do yourself, you'll eventually end up misguided. You'll do so very many things, and none of them will work. But then I feel biblically you ought to do something that makes you satisfied. You ought to do something not only to please people. It starts with you. If it doesn't make you happy, okay, if you're doing something that doesn't really make you happy, how do you expect to project that happiness to society? If you feel it's something that has been forcefully imparted on you, you won't give it your best. But then I feel it's upon us. It's upon you to have, some meeting with yourself.
So
Okay.
am I supposed to be trying, a variety of things so you can identify something
No, you don't
specific that you
necessarily
love?
have to try. I feel it's something you'll know. Sometimes you go through some things. You do so much, but then what I know sometimes, these things we go through as well. They're experiences we undergo in life. You go through these experiences. You go through certain circumstances. Just so they can bring out the best in you, and eventually you realize, okay, that this is what I was meant to do. Okay, maybe then you felt it was a dream you couldn't really achieve because you didn't have the capacity or the capability to. But then if you just channel your energy right, trust me, you meet the people, you meet the right people who will help you, who will hold your hand and guide you, towards the same desired future. So I feel it's not about saying, okay, I don't know what I really want. Then why are you living?
Man, it's not that easy. I can be growing, doing a lot of stuff, and I'm performing well in, most of the stuff I'm
Yeah.
doing, but I have to identify one particular thing if I really want to understand my potential. So that is why it's very important for someone to really know what he or she is like so good. Because everyone was created, with that, innate ability.
Yeah.
There is no one thing that you do, like it's just you who can perfectly do it. Even in a group of 10, everyone has his or her own ability. So it's not always easy. It's not that easy for someone to really like, so I'm so good at this particular thing.
Yeah.
So as you said, you have to surround yourself with people who really know you. They really understand you.
That brings me to asking you this. In your course, in your progression. Okay. This applies generally to us. Whatever you're applying in your life, are you applying biblical principles, or are you applying worldly principles? Because the moment you apply the biblical principles in your life, things eventually work. Okay, do people really think about the Bible, or it's something most of us disregard? Have you tried the biblical approach?
Most
And
of
it
the
has
times
failed.
we don't think about it first, but I think that is the key.
Exactly. So, so basically, this is what I'm trying to say. Sometimes you'll do your stuff. You'll do your stuff. You'll try as an individual. Your ways don't just work. But then, reality hits you. There's a moment you just have to turn to the Bible. And the moment you do and take in the word, you really want it to be helpful. You really want it. I can't explain how it does, but then it works. It's a sure key. So that is something that especially our young generation today, it's why I was talking about the musical influences, the worldly influences and all. Someone listens to some music. I do this all the time. Sometimes I just put some music there and ask someone, okay, what do you think about this song? They'd be like, okay, we don't like the music or stuff. But then, I'm someone who's keen on details. So we have some worldly influences, and I believe in some era and some age where everything that is done, everything that we're doing, all societal undertakings are just trying to push us away from God. Talk to a young person, someone who really wants to make it. Ask them if they have a Bible. Just go to their phone and ask them. But provided it only works if you follow biblical principles. I'd like to extend the card to her because I feel it's an experience you've had as well. Okay, these are things we've gone through as well. But then some of us don't really want to see the light. Some of us don't really want to. You tell them the godly way, to follow, and they're like, okay, that's some old thing that I don't want to do. What's your take on the same? If someone was to stop you randomly in the streets and ask you, anything, can you I've talked to you, I know you on a friendly basis. I know you want to start your shows, you want to impart on people positively. I know you love watching Ellen, whatever she calls herself, to me there's something you admire about her.
Yeah.
There's something she does that gives you the drive. Apart from the drive you get from people, have you ever really thought about approaching things biblically?
So many times.
Uh-huh.
I really didn't know, what I can do best,
Yeah.
So the first step, was I thought I could just surround myself with people who will help identify the thing that I'm good at. I realize people are different. It doesn't always work. People are different. Whatever you see in me, it's not the same thing that someone else will see. And I had forgotten about the whole thing of I'm gonna pray about it. And we usually forget about that. Then we get into I want people to help me identify. From that, I'll do these, and then I'll do these. It doesn't work. So I had to pray for God to help me, like to really show me what I love doing, what I can be able to do.
Yeah.
I want to have my own shows. That is why I love Ellen. I love Oprah, the great people. with their own television shows. That is what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't just wake up and realize, oh, so this is what I can do. This is what I love doing.
Yeah.
I had to pray about it. After praying about it, God will bring the correct people in your life. I'd help you identify that correct thing. And from there, you'll decide, no, so this is what I can do. So what am I supposed to do? Have the correct, the right role models. I learned to step out of yourself, because we have so many individuals, like Tony. You have so many Tonys in you. But you have not utilized all the Tonys in you. You have a lot of potential, but most of the times we don't know. We don't really exploit the Sharons and the Tonys in us. So another step is you have to be willing to exploit the people in you. I have to this is what I love doing. So that is not enough. I don't just stop there. So I know my potential. So what next? I have to be willing to do something about it. And that doesn't come easy. There's so many things involved in trying to release your potential. There's something called a limit. After knowing my personal competence, so what next? Like, how much can I stretch? You talked about how much someone can stretch. I have to understand my limits. So after praying about it, God brings the correct people in your life. They help you. They boost you. And then be willing to fully exploit the potential.
Somewhere where some place where we blow it as young people is that sometimes, okay, like you've said, God brings the right people in you. but then we still don't see.
You still pray about it.
I know, but then yeah, she's right. Sometimes God will bring the right people in your life, but then the devil, it's someone who's not for progress and success. So he'll keep on pushing you. He'll keep on telling you, okay, this is where you start feeling, you can do so much. You're being used, you're being exploited, you're being manipulated. So we start abusing the opportunities and privileges that God has given to us. Instead of appreciating the people that God has brought in our life to actually bring the best in us, we start rebelling instead. But then if we live according to biblical principles, if we live according to the will of God, and if we really trust Him to guide us, things just work. Like I said, it's something that I can't really explain, because I'm not talking out of inexperience here. I'm talking from an experience I've undergone as well. I've had to go through training. I've had to go through discipline, to even get to a point where I can talk to you as well. Sometimes those people are brought in our lives, but then we need to know how to use that opportunity. Get an opportunity that okay, this is the key. This is the key. It might not necessarily, be everything you've wanted. They might not necessarily buy you that mansion, buy you that, expensive car you want to drive. They may not necessarily bring out the dream life. You want, but then at least it's a stepping stone. So are you willing to embrace them and then give it your best? Because from then, blessings just come. Blessings just come, and you just realize things are working. By the way, if you live your life according to biblical principles, and you're certain you're right in your soul, you'll know deep inside you're right. Trust me, there's nothing. It doesn't matter how hard the devil works, but then there's nothing that he'll fashion against you that will work. You'll just find yourself, you'll find yourself getting out of things, getting out of difficulties, getting out of challenges. Sometimes it gets so hard you feel like giving up, and losing. You just want to blow that opportunity. But then this is where trusting in God comes in, and patience. So Paul is addressing Timothy, for example, and Paul is satisfied. So as Christians, have you done something that you can reflect on and look at and say, okay, I've done what was wanted of me. I feel I've stretched myself to my fullest limits, and I'm proud of myself. The moment you get there, the moment you're proud of yourself, you will learn to be proud of other people as well. So you might as well start bringing out the best in people equally. So understanding your potential, it's a broad topic. If it's a discussion that if we started to have, we could talk for the whole day. But then I just want you to know that the fundamental principles of life, the fundamental principles of progress in life, is understanding who you are at first and appreciating it, and then embracing those people who are holding your hand, who are supporting you. And then most importantly is applying biblical principles, embracing God, accepting that you're not doing everything. It's not by your power. It's not by your power. At the end of the day, there's a greater force that's fighting on your behalf. Once you learn that, and then you commit yourself to that kind of life, trust me, everything just works for you. And I want to pose a question to Sharon as well. So today, if you're given an opportunity to talk to that individual, talk to that young girl, young boy, whatever, it might be a married man, or even it might be a married lady, a married man, what would you tell them? I know we are on the journey as well. It's not like we've already arrived or gotten there, but then biblically, I feel we are on the right trajectory. What would you tell someone who's struggling, who's on the path of self-discovery, and they feel nothing is working right, everything's in shambles, they're trying, but it ain't just working. People are not bringing the best in them. Society ain't bringing the best in them. Their parents ain't bringing the best in them. Friends ain't bringing the best in them, and they don't know.
Tony, things just don't work.
Yeah.
You just have to pray about those things.
Exactly.
So the moment you pray about those things, they're going to work.
Yeah.
Just pray about it and be serious, about what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you pray about it, God will help you understand yourself. From you understanding yourself, knowing your potential, knowing your uniqueness, your ability, your limits, from that you'll also understand your strengths and shortcomings. We all want to make ourselves better, but even with the ability you have so many shortcomings they're supposed to deal with.
Yeah.
So, pray for those, imperfections you have. Learn to make yourself a better person. Then, from there, the people who are coming to your life, just appreciate the help they're providing. Learn to sacrifice. Things are not easy. For me to get to where I want, things are not going to be smooth. For everyone. So you have to learn to sacrifice. Just be there. Try so hard. I'm clear about, my potential, about what I want. I know, my limits and all that. I have to be willing to sacrifice to get the best out of me.
Yeah.
So you just have to pray about it, understand yourself, know your strengths and shortcomings. Then, finally be able to sacrifice. Nothing comes easy, you have to sacrifice. You have to, discipline yourself, that I have to pray. It doesn't come easy, So you have to be willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Also pray about it and understand yourself. Take your time to understand yourself before you get out to before people you want to get out there and ask people to help you identify what you can be able to do. Have a meeting with yourself. Know who you are. Yeah, but you'll only achieve that by praying.
Yeah, we're on the same page. So you're saying the prayer is the call. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 8:52 on our side. We have like 8 minutes left to time. I know we started late, but then I think that's it for the day. So what I'd like to tell us is as individuals, and as people who are struggling, life is never smooth. Life is a constant struggle. We'll meet ups and downs. We'll have to face obstacles and all those very big challenges. But then we need to take time as individuals and understand ourselves, because you don't expect someone else to understand you if you don't even really know what you want to yourself. So it starts with you knowing what you want as an individual, and then maybe your wants go contrary to God's expectations. Your wants go contrary to biblical principles. So if it doesn't, is there some other way? You don't have to do crazy stuff, to make it, because why put yourself out to sin, and yet knowing that eventually, you're going to detrimentally suffer from the same. Why waste your life? Why waste your life? Do things that don't really. Okay, it might be adding value at that particular time, but then later on, it turns out to prove detrimental. So are your needs, are your desires aligned with God's principles? Are you living your life as a Christian, or are you just doing things because people are doing it? So first understand your potential, and then see if your goals, if your desires align with the biblical expectations, and then embrace those people who are willing to come in and hold your hand. Because by the way, a good part of the fight, you'll do it alone. You'll feel so condemned, you'll feel so left out. But then eventually, God just brings that person who holds your hand and guides you. These are the people we ought to embrace. Especially if they bring out the best in you, and then be prepared. It's not a journey that is going to be like easy all through. You're going to be rejected. You're going to face rejection. Sometimes for us to really bring out the best in us, we have to go through condemnation. Those who are condemned the most, for those who take it right, who take it as an opportunity to learn and grow, those who take it as an opportunity, to bring out the best in them, they end up succeeding. they end up making it. But then if you decide to air yourself out, you're like, okay, everybody is thinking this and this of me. Everybody thinks I'm a failure. So can I really do it myself? Once you embrace failure, there's no progress you can make. You keep on failing and failing and failing until the moment you realize to do things according to God's expectations, until you realize that you are capable of anything that you set your heart to, guided by biblical principles. It doesn't have to be something crazy. That is not the key. Always, there's a star in us. I've talked to you. I've been given the privilege to minister. We've journeyed through the Bible. I've told you that the fact that you're born itself means that you are a winner. So you're brought into the world a winner. But then circumstances, eventualities, the things we'll face, those are inevitable. Those can't be avoided. You don't just expect to live a smooth life. But even for those, if you look at these very successful people, and then they've given birth to kids. It's a kid who's grown up in riches and all. You'll find still you feel like they have everything, but then you'll find they've enrolled for some class in engineering. They're pursuing something else beside the fact that you feel, okay, me, if I were them, you feel like if I were them, if I had that amount of money, if I had that amount of richness in my life, then there's nothing else I will need. Sometimes we need people. Sometimes it's not just about the money and making it. It's about building a community. People you can have a conversation with. You can't be having all the riches you want in life, but then at the end of the day you still find yourself depressed. Because you've not learned to embrace people. You don't even know how to live with people. You don't have friends. Everybody else is running from away from you. Yes, you can afford that car. Yes, you can afford that house. Yes, you can go to any club you want, to any hotel you want. You can do anything you want to, but at the end of the day, you still find you're not fulfilled. So this is where I feel the Bible comes in, because biblically, the Bible teaches about relationships. How to live with people. How to associate with others in the society as well, how to accept them, and how to help them grow. And sometimes the greatest fulfillment in life is making it yourself. Make it yourself after going through all that struggle. Make it yourself as an individual, and then compel other people to make it as well. Teach them this is the way, this is how things ought to be done. Because sometimes all we need is guidance, but then we don't get it. We won't get it from social media. We won't get it from our parents. We feel that society expects so much. And we tend to end up living according to societal norms. And sometimes you have to go against societal norms. Sometimes you'll do things that maybe society will feel are wrong, but then deep inside that you're doing the right thing. So pursue what you believe in, and then get to a point where you equally compel other people to do the same. Talk to people, talk to young people. Tell them, okay, this is what I did. This is how I was able to make it. So I feel if you follow the same path, you can do it. You don't have to really force them to do things the way you used to do things, but then a number of these majority of the sincerely rich people, and who got their wealth rightly, they've started charity organizations. They're helping orphans. They've started foundations that are helping those who are underprivileged in society. Because they understand that it's not about what you're going on at the moment. It's not about the circumstances surrounding you. You can do much. You can break out of that as well. And so I'd like to finish, and I'd like to thank us all. I don't know if Sharon has anything to say before we finish. Okay, she said she doesn't have anything. So I want to thank those of us who've been watching us this evening, I don't even know. I've been on my feet all through. I've not even gotten time to acknowledge the people, those who've been watching us. So let me just see. Let me just see those of you online with us. For those of you watching us from YouTube, I might not really be able to read out your names, but then God bless you and thank you for sticking with us. I think there's some issue with my Facebook, so I'm not really able to see those of you hoping with us. Okay, Mtumishi Renson, this is great and inspirational. Good job, Apostle Helen, for mentoring them to this awesome path. We're grateful for him as well. Thank you so much, Mtumishi Renson. Franz Goepe says, check your screen. I don't know. Open the screen. I think it's been worked on. Mtumishi Renson says, also Joseph Helen says, Michael Osaka, thank you so much. You must love and mentor youth at all costs. So Joseph Helen says, I like the way Tony keeps emphasizing the significance of applying biblical principles in life. That in itself, where did it go? Sometimes you just want to read this thing and then they just disappear. Just get out of here. Okay, as that loads, I still want to extend my gratitude to those of you who've been with us tonight, whatever time it is wherever you're watching us from. We look forward to being with you next time. I think there's some issue with the video clarity and all, but then it's something that we'll work on as well. Our internet has been a bit wavier as well. It's a problem that will be solved. So thank you for tuning in. Listen to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Apostle Joseph Helen. Follow us on Facebook at Apostle Joseph Helen still. Go to any podcast platform and listen to our podcast. There are quite a number that will change your lives. And you'll be the one, sitting here and testifying of God's grace and glory and the momentous work in your life. So we look forward to seeing you next time. We thank you for sticking with us. We have to go. Until then, bye-bye, and may God bless you. Keep you. Thank you.